Hello there, Ame Gakita. Alright, let's talk about DEI. I'm sure some people are like, oh, another DEI video, let's get out of here. And I'm like, go ahead, I'm not stopping you. The issue is that DEI over this whole ordeal or period, especially when it involved game, a lot of people didn't have the understanding is that DEI had a meaningful good start. It has the potential to be a good thing, but yet somewhere midway down the line, it became such a bad moment, a bad thing that people just doesn't like it. Don't get me wrong, am I trying to defend DEI at the moment? Well, the thing is, right, if you actually look at the whole audio, the meaningful of how DEI can be a good thing, and yet some people exploit DEI in a way that they make it so damn bad, aka Sweet Baby Ink. I'm sure a lot of people will be hearing a lot of my video saying about Sweet Baby Ink a lot of time. Mind you, I did a lot of random check. You can check that out. Some of them I'll put in the link description below if you guys are interested to check that out. So recently, I actually did talk about Assassin Creed as well as the Genshin situation, and I put up the speculation that it can be maybe likely possibly that Sweet Baby Ink had a hand in both of the situation. One, that the Boycott, they trying to push forward saying like diversity whatsoever because there is no it's not actual thing, even though the situation is not real. Even if the game is based on fiction, they are just taking inspiration from a race, and that was all. They don't copy one to one. This is really something that a lot of people don't understand. It doesn't mean that I copy your homework and I copy everything to a T and then change one or two answer. It's taking the inspiration from the homework and changing it to make it their own. That's how Genshin has always been. So that's why a lot of people are saying like, oh, Nalan is not supposed to be all black and they are not having all black character. Yeah. In a unit, you go tell me you can go into Tefa in this world where, and then tell me that there is really no black people down there. I already mentioned there is a few black people in the game. They never even mentioned about it. And then in Assassin's Creed, they decided to add in Yasuke, which now a lot of Japanese people are questioning the existence of Yasuke. I'm sure that there will be some historian or trying to jump in the hype wagon and just say that, oh, maybe he exists or maybe there is no existence. No, the thing is, right, we won't even be sure like the evidence that is being put up is legit or not. The reason why they use the word scared is because they know that it can be like just someone saying the story along the line, or it can be false and it's not real and people trying to make it as if it's real. So overall, it became a questionable. A lot of people that is answering and questioning, is Yasuke true? And the thing is, right now when we think about the whole situation about DEI, a lot of people need to understand DEI or diversity, equality, and inclusive. Took me quite a while to understand what I mean. But the thing is, right, from how I look at it, I can see like, hey, if we add DEI to some game, it can have a great meaning. And what does that mean? Well, the thing is, right, in some time, when we want to add in, like, for example, like in the Japanese game, they want to showcase a little bit of foreigner, their impression of foreigner on the line. If they add in, let's say, for example, a black or a white people, or maybe China people or Indian people, there's a little bit of DEI. I'm not saying like it's entirely DEI, but if they add a character from a different race into their own Japanese game, like let's say for example, does that mean that in a Japanese game there is no foreigner in Japan? No. If they can add in an Indian person, and then let's say in a game they add in an Indian NPC, and the Indian NPC is basically from India, which trying to help you and help you in the quest along the line, and it gives people the idea that, hey, maybe there is some truth that Japanese people do have a lot of foreign students in their country, and it should be a thing. I lived in Japan for 6 years. I went to a Japanese school, not actually more like a Japanese colleague along the line. But when I went there, does that mean that all the people that I interact, all the students that I interact are basically Japanese? No. There are Chinese people, there is Indian people, there is Brazilian people, there is Thailand people, there is so many different country people studying in Japan. So it's really kind of like me really question, like, if you add DEI, can we like let people understand that there are foreign students in Japan as well? And I think a little bit of foreigner, like I think the equality of it, I think it can go a long way. It doesn't mean that we have to make the character the main character or we have to force the character in. if we give with the idea that there is like exchange student or like student who is like having a mixed race, let's say mother being a Japanese and the dad is Chinese along the line. Hey, in Japan there is a lot quite of that, okay, if you guys are not aware. So the thing is like, if we go with that idea, then it should be a thing of DEI. I guess that we can add a little bit of it. But the thing is, right, once you add it in, what is the story is going to be about for the character? It has to be like, okay, it's a foreigner or is it a mixed race along the line? Who knows? Because the thing is, at the end of the day, the story of the character should matter. Should we make it out of nowhere that the character is like a main character? He or she should look fair or look skinny or too fair or ugly or maybe whatsoever phase along the line. The thing is, right, a lot of people have always the wrong mentality, especially in the DEI, is that the reason why I say DEI has always been a very iffy question, like it had a good meaning, is that if we add in like some character that is very questionable, but we don't make them the center point, we make them like part of the character cast or whatsoever, then I think that a lot of people can accept it because people know that they exist. It doesn't mean they don't, and it's just that we just don't see them much. It's always been that case. And one or twice if you interact with the person, let's say for example a quest that required their involvement along the line, I think that's go a better way. So all in all, when I'm looking at Genshin, I mean, like, sure, there is already a few black character in the game, but yet in Assassin's Creed they are forcing like a black person in Japan where the legitimacy of his samurai status is on the line. And if you think about it, it's just basically, if you look at the game, it's a racist game. Why I say that? It's just a black people going around killing Japanese people. Understand? So the thing is, right, it's really kind of like when you look at the whole audio, is DEI being too much? I mean, like, it's what we if in the situation if a Japanese character going around killing black people, I'm sure that a lot of black community out there, even though they don't play game, they will start making noise. Oh, Japanese people going around killing people. Oh, it's World War II bad again, along the line. Yeah, my great parents had lived through World War II. They are all four of them are no longer around. But the thing is, right, every time when I hear a story about World War II from their mouth, it's always full of hatred. But when I ask them that, will they hate Japan now? They will just say that they hate the past, not now. And yet people always can't move on along the line and start using whatever thing. And even so, I'm actually amazed at how people always say about World War II and whatsoever into the storyline some way, somehow, somewhat. And yet, can we really deny that World War II didn't exist? It is in the history book. It is a thing. So the thing is, right, if we're going to use that in the story, how are we going to justify that? Oh, hey, America full of Call of Duty, full of Battlefield, and it's all about one country killing another country along the line. Is that not why is DEI not going after them along the line? Or why is it that people going around killing people without a damn care along the line? Or maybe make the monster or the human, or not all black, but maybe all zombie along the line and kill them all along the line, and maybe maybe black people turn into zombie or white people turn into zombie, who knows? So the thing is, right, it's really being so ridiculous that I'm saying, like, what the heck is this? And the thing is, right, DEI has always been something that a lot of people need to understand. Why I said it does link to Black Lives Matter is that if you guys think about it, Black Lives Matter was kind of like the start of our situation. I'm not saying that Black Lives Matter is not a good thing, don't get me wrong. I have a few black friends, alright. The issue is that a lot of my friends agree with one point, is that it started out with a good meaning. Yet, part of the thing died in a way that people always kind of make it their own thing, and it became an issue. So what does Black Lives Matter? It's just a very simple thing: racism. Racism has always stayed in this world and is always an issue. And that's why a lot of people need to understand that sometimes they need to use some country like Singapore as a means to understand why racism should not exist. Like in Japan, racism, do they exist? Yes, I have been living in Japan for 6 years. There is some form of racism. In Singapore, does racism still have happened? Yes, It still happen. It's just that the reason why people are not open about it in Singapore is that often more than not, if you are being openly racist in Singapore, you can be arrested. Go and check out the law in Singapore. Racism is arrestable. It is a chargeable crime. But does that mean that every country have to follow the whole law of Singapore saying that, oh, we should make racism a crime along the line? Dude, I don't see that happening in any future in other countries, especially USA. But the only issue that I'm actually trying to talk about is that a lot of people need to understand Black Lives Matter is just a simple term of racism that is directed towards black people. But at the other time, there is always the merit of saying that, do that matter? It matters in some way, but the question is that what happened if the black people decided to go around attack, like some black people, I'm not saying all black people, but when some black people going around attacking another race, and then when they found out that they've been caught out by others, they start hiding behind the word Black Lives Matter. See where I'm going? So the thing is that a lot of people need to understand there are some people who is misusing DEI or Black Lives Matter along the line, and they're trying to justify their cause, even though their mean is not for DEI, is not for Black Lives Matter, but for their own beneficial and their gain. Sweet Baby Inc. has always been called out a lot of time, and all people start using the word, they are the mafia, they are the black society, they are the yakuza in game industry, where they go around exploiting game company and telling them to listen to them and consult them, even though if the game they make is gonna turn out the worst game ever. Mind you guys, there's a lot of game that had Sweet Baby Inc. fingerprint on it, and they never turn out well. And I assure you guys there is a lot. Go and check out Rev Say's video where he talked about another game ruined by Sweet Baby Inc. And I'm sure there is like Flint Law, there is Suicide Squad, there is like movie like the Star Wars where I talk about it, why I don't even watch Star Wars anymore, because I feel like there is DEI. And I mentioned that the DEI seems to be happening way before the acrylic. A lot of people need to understand is that when I do those videos, I always have my point, my source, and I put them out. As well as if I use my own source, I always say this word: take away a few pieces of sword and throw the sword at the screen if you need to. I'm not saying that we have to go along the line, or saying that, oh, we have to believe Ame Gakita along the line, or saying that Ame Gakita is yapping along the line. Dude, I'm voicing my opinion and I'm letting you guys to listen. If you guys don't agree, write in the comment below, we can discuss it further. The issue with DEI along the line, I'm sure there will be some people saying I'm being a hypocrite. I'm looking at both points. I've always been looking at both points. I feel like DEI can be a good thing. It's just that Sweet Baby Inc. has been exploiting the DEI, and when things don't go their way, they kind of like say, oh, people are being racism, there are people misusing it along the line. Dude, it's the same thing as the creation of a country. It is created by a great man, the great ancestor, with the mind of ensuring the country lasts forever. But yet, midway down the line, bad people with the meaning of greed, with the meaning of pride, with the meaning of loss, and they misuse the system and they make it their own, just so that they can be the fat man in the house. No offense to all the fat men, but I'm referring to those people who are greedy. But if you are greedy fat man, then go ahead. I'm not stopping you from not watching my video. The thing is, right, at the end of the day, it's really causing the issue of that. Why is people trying to threatening themselves and not even thinking? I mean, like, look at the government. Why have I been openly talking about government all the time? Not saying that all government are bad. If they have good point, by all means, go ahead. We can support them. But all in all, I've been saying this a lot of time during my videos. I don't support any government. I only if they have to ask me to vote, I'm just looking at two choices. It's between a pea or a shit. If I choose one of them, it's just that I don't like the other more. It's just simple. It doesn't mean that I have to go around saying that, oh, I have to choose this because I like him a lot more. Dude, it's the same thing of me choosing two that I don't like and I choose the least one that I hate. That's awesome. That's simple. If people can't choose about who they vote, just see who you hate less and go for that. If it turn out bad, then just bring your decision of you choose the wrong decision. That's simple. Life doesn't matter. Just go on. It's time. The thing is, a lot of people don't understand. Time wait for no one. It never will. It never does so. So the thing is, right? A lot of people need to understand. All this situation that I see about DEI, it's just that through time it has been corrupted. People misusing it, and in a way, DEI does have some relationship to Black Lives Matter. If a lot of people don't understand, let me give you a more simple way of explanation. Why is it that when Genshin put a character in a fictional world, less black people or dark-skinned people, because the thing is that in their world, they say that black people or dark-skinned people don't really exist much, then why is it that people out of nowhere say that, oh, there must be black people in that world? In what universe do you think that black people exist in that world? How can we be so sure that black people not exist in that world? Can we be so sure? No, it's just that people always have the mentality that, oh, it must be that or must be that. Why don't you just go and create your own game, your own word, or your own story, or your own manga, or your own anime, or own cartoon, or whatsoever, and say that, oh, your whole world exists all black. Black water, black food, black people, black whatsoever. Yeah, that's how people always come up with the weirdest thing ever. So the thing is, right, not all things are colorful or whatsoever. It's just that what you guys have to understand, people always make the weirdest noise, and I give it the benefit of doubt to both sides, especially more on DI. I know there are some people who may disagree with me. I understand their point, but you have to understand from my point, from looking at both sides of the coin, is that DEI has always been an issue, not with the right mindset. If they go with the idea that, hey, maybe DEI is just basically people trying to that whatsoever, like, people are just making a hoo-ha out of nowhere, and that DEI is gonna die soon, company gonna kill DEI, people is not gonna care about DEI. Yeah, it will never die just because you can't spell die without D-I-E. Yeah, the thing is, right, a lot of people need to understand DEI has always been there. And the reason why, again, back to the point when I say why it mattered to Black Lives Matter, is that, have you guys noticed, again, like I mentioned, if you guys still don't understand, why is it has to be the black? Why no ASEAN? Why no Indian? Why no South Korean? Why no Mongolian? Why no other country? Like, why does it has to be black? So it's bad to the point that maybe the people who is working in DEI are all black, and that they want to say, hey, maybe we want to add black because the black doesn't have a voice. Dude, write in a very convincing story for all the gamers as well as me to accept it. The moment you start adding who whatsoever to the story, it loses a lot of audience. Look at a lot of games. A lot of people are not happy about it. Doesn't mean that a lot of people saying they are being true or not. I mean, like, the funny thing is that there is historian or whatsoever saying that, oh, maybe it's not true, and now it became a Japan thing. And there is some historian who trying to get some crowd moment, decide to say, oh, maybe it exists, but we don't know. And now the issue is that now, because Ubisoft said that, oh, it's a work of will, it's non-fiction, it's all accurate, and there is actually black people going around killing Japanese, and now you telling me that all the Japanese children are going to believe that, hey, all American people, all black are not all good. Because why? Because there is black people going around killing Japanese people. So if all the black people go to Japan, please be careful, you are going to get attacked. Why? Because you go, historical has shown that black people going around killing Japanese. It's true. That's what the game is showing. Understand why I say it's all racist game along the line? So the thing is, right, it's really, really stupid on how people always try to say, oh, it's just a game. Dude, Genshin has always been a game of fiction, and the reason why they don't add black people or white people or whatever to the game is that they don't want people to take it at face value. They don't want to take it as real thing. But because Assassin's Creed is making it a real thing, that's why people are making noise. There's a huge difference between the two games. And what is the cause of whole issue that caused the whole thing to happen? It's because of DEI. A meaningful start with a menacing end. Do I still think that DEI should exist? In some way, I know some people will not be happy about it, but we should include in some form of DEI. I'm not saying the bad point or whatever. I'm saying that the meaning of like, if a game do require some sort of like, let's say for example, if the game need to have an include of white people or black people along the line or other country people along the line, then I think that should be a thing. It should be inclusive, so that the story may be exciting or interesting along the line. But the thing is, right, let me give you another way to, so that people may make noise. What happens if you have a black game with black main character, with black main heroine, with black main plot, and out of nowhere I decided to add a white people to the game because DEI? Not gonna be happy about it? Yeah. The reason is that it's the same thing. You add a freaking black person to a white game, why can't we add white people to a black game? People will start making noise. People will start using the Black Lives Matter community to say, oh, it's not real or whatsoever along the line. White people didn't happen in Africa along the line. Yeah, go and check history. Who colonized Africa since who know how long went ago? It's really ridiculous, alright guys. I don't like talking about this all the time. It's just that it's so much ridiculous that people always do this kind of thing. And all is just making it even worse. And what even making it worse is that why a lot of people ask like, why is the Japanese game so good? Why is the Western game so bad? If you want people to play your game, if you ask me like, okay, all the Japanese characters, some of them are NPC. You look at it. Does that mean that they are all they all NPC? It makes it that they are all main characters. But when I look at the Western game, oh, I would, the first thing in my mind is that, are they NPC? It's not that I'm having an issue about NPC or whatsoever. It's just that if you're telling me that those are the main character, I'll be like, wow, is that how American people make themselves look like? Are you saying that there is a lot of American female that look like this? Or whatsoever? Is it that because they are not good looking? Then what a lot of people need to understand is that this is giving the false impression that American people look like this now. So the thing is that DEI and in the game, it can assist. Just don't make it too damn bad. If you make every character look so damn ugly, then it's just proving that American people are all ugly. The reason why a lot of people have a misconception of Japanese people are all pretty is because the game makes them all pretty. So, game can go a long way. It's just that if you want to add stuff in, if you want to say that there is some people that look like this, sure, go ahead, we won't stop you. But doesn't mean that you have to add everything to be that way. There can be some characters that look good. If you make all the NPC and all the female in the game look ugly, then people will have the misconception that American people are ugly. It's just very simple. Still don't understand? Then I have nothing to say to you. The only thing that I can only say is that this is just all my speculative thought, just a random chat. Whether you agree or disagree, write in the comment below, we can discuss it further. Till then, don't forget to press the like button if you do like this video and subscribe for more random chat where I talk about stuff that never make sense or sometimes it can be just a random stuff. A lot of the video that I post or the source will be in the link description below. So if you guys are interested, like read some video, go and check them out. He does have a lot of good points, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that I agree with him all the time. There is only one point so far, it's just that DEI, I think it should exist, but it's just the good point, not the bad point. All in all, nothing much to say, but till then, I hope you guys have a nice day. All right, bye.